catches, puts up a three. One go. Rebound box.
Now head over in this direction. Gone to three.
Tie game with 5 seconds remaining. The impossible has happened.
Pass is intercepted at the goal line by Malcolm Butler.
Anthony for three. Puts it in. Bridges. Oh my God. Oh, what? Oh, blocked by James. LeBron James with the rejection. Curry way downtown. Bang! Bang!
And we are back. Welcome back to Campus Corner, the very first episode in season 2. And I'm proud to be joined by Carlton, better known as Silk Owens. In today's podcast, Silk is a University of Rhode Island Athletic Hall of Famer in the graduating class in 1988 and was a captain of the Sweet 16 run that year as well. Thank you for joining me, Silk. It's an honor, man.
Hey, thanks for having me, Cam. I really appreciate it.
Hey, no problem, man. Of course. I've seen you. How many podcasts have you been on so far? Recently, you've been in the media a little bit on YouTube and stuff like that, huh?
Yeah, quite a few. And I was trying to slow down with it a little bit. And it was just too much at once.
Right.
So I took a week or two off, and now I'm back. So I wanted to make sure I reach out to you, and so we can get this done.
Yeah, of course, man. I appreciate it a ton. To kind of get started kind of on the coaching aspect, I know you've got a little bit of a coaching background so far. Before we get into your playing days, what have you been doing like nowadays with coaching, on the coaching aspect of the game, and what teams have you involved yourself with?
Well, the past 2 years, I was coaching high school basketball out in Florida at a program called Orlando Christian Prep. We won the state championship the last 2 years. This year they won it again, but I wasn't there.
Yep.
Great program in Orlando. And I've been doing that the last 2 years. And prior to that, I was coaching at Kennesaw State for the legendary coach Al Skinner. And I've been doing that for the past 4 years with that. Since I moved here to Connecticut, I've been trying to get involved with one of the high school jobs here.
Yep.
And, as a head coach, came up a little short on getting the job there. So right now I'm just trying to pursue a college job, to be honest with you.
Right. Yeah. So how was your knowledge of the game, from your playing days transferred over to coaching? Like how different has the game changed maybe in your eyes from a coaching perspective now?
Oh yeah, it changed. Yeah. Let me just say this. Being a former player and becoming a coach is two different things. It's two different worlds. Like you have the knowledge of the game as a player, right? You know the ins and outs of the game. But when you coach, it's a different ball game.
Of course.
Like, look at everything now, as opposed to just going out and play and making adjustments on, how I defend my opponent. As a coach, I have to cover everything. Right. I'm a little under the weather, so my voice is probably cracking a little.
No, you're good.
I got a slight little cold there. And but being a former player, you have a lot of knowledge of the game. I have different experiences from playing at the lower level as a middle school kid, developing into the high school. And, you just gain experience each level. So middle school to high school to college. And I just improved at every level.
Of course.
And that carries over to college. Being that I experienced a lot of different situations out there on the floor, I can pass that on to my players that's playing now. Say, look, give them great advice. I experienced this. I think you should do it this way.
Yeah, definitely.
That can help a young player because I've been there and I've done that.
Yeah, especially if they see you, I know you're in the media a little bit, on YouTube, highlights and things like that. If they see their coach, how he played and, the way that you try to teach them, that gives them more maybe motivation in a way or more of my coach, he did this, you know what I mean? He knows what he's talking about, Yeah. It's
more of, I saw him out on the floor doing it, so I better listen. He did it at a high level. So It kind of helps. I think being a former player, turning to a coach, your players need to know that you played the game. And, you've garnered that much more respect that way. And because they know you've been there. So, yeah.
No, yeah, definitely. And you know, having your ties with URI, the runs you guys have went on. Like you said earlier, I know you went on like a little bit of like a pause with the media and things. I was wondering if you you know, had interest in joining the coaching staff. I know they hired a couple assistant coaches this past week. You know, I didn't know if that media pause had anything to do with that, if you were like, you know, trying to get that job. So if you could like elaborate on that and, you know, how these past couple of weeks have been for you.
Yeah, I was very much interested in trying to join the staff. So I had to slow down a little bit because you know, I had people coming from everywhere and trying to promote me as well. So I didn't want it where I became a nuisance. Like, I don't want to deal with this guy.
Yeah.
He got plenty people following him, trying to push him for the job. So I said, let me take a step back and let it play itself out. Now, he did announce his staff. Unfortunately, I didn't get a call.
Mm-hmm.
But there is one position available, I heard yesterday, Director of Player Development, which is a pretty decent position there that I'm interested in. So let's see what happened with that position. So
yeah, for sure. And I'm potentially gonna be transferring there next year. I'm gonna be going into my junior year of college. I'm on like the broadcast aspect, though. I do the podcast to get my name out there more, like platform myself. So if I see you down there, man, that's gonna be, a crazy scene. I hope everything goes well with that for sure.
Yeah, that'd be awesome, man. To see you on camera.
Yeah, for sure. So, kind of transition now, like your playing days, growing up in Brooklyn, New York. When did a true passion for the game of basketball like really start for you?
Good question. Well, put it like this. I started gaining interest when I was 3 years old, right? So my dad, when he used to come home from work, he would always come home and there's always seemed to be a New York Knicks game on, right?
Hey,
so
that's my bread and butter, man. New York fan all day, man.
Right. I'm a Knicks fan. So I would sit and watch the game with him.
Yeah.
And, I just enjoyed watching it so much. I said, look, I want to start playing. I was 3 years old. So Christmas time came around. I said, Dad, I want a basketball. So I said, there's 2 things I really want, a basketball and a big wheel. You probably don't know what a big wheel is. So it's one big wheel. It's like I don't know, like a little tricycle type thing.
Mm-hmm.
There's one big wheel and then 2 little ones in the back. So I was able to get those 2. So when I got the basketball, he would take me to work with him.
Mm-hmm.
And he would play at lunchtime. And, I'd be on the side trying to throw the ball up and hit the rim. Obviously, I wasn't strong enough then, but I was getting close.
Right.
I would hit the net at least. So as I got older, 9 of them shots are going in, right? 5 or 6 years old, they're going in now. So now my interest really peaked. I was like, oh, I can do this.
Right.
It felt good too. It felt good when you're shooting it, you're that young, and you see it go through the net. So it piqued my interest. And so ever since then, I was playing like every day.
Yep.
Like 6-7 days a week. And that's how I got better, as the years went on. Yeah.
So like bouncing off of that, like so happy to hear that you're a Knicks fan, man. I know you said you're from Brooklyn, New York, but
yeah,
man, that's me and my dad. Even through like the tough seasons that have been going on and on, like just still dedicated. You got to be dedicated. But
I like that. You're a diehard fan. See, I'm diehard. I still wear my Knicks hat, shirt.
I got this Washington shirt on, but don't be fooled. Like I'm diehard. I got all the jerseys hung up, everything in here, man. But yeah. So I guess like bouncing off of that, like you said, growing up watching the Knicks, who did you kind of once you got a little older, who did you like model your game around and kind of like admire, as you got a little bit older?
Well, my idol was from watching the Knicks is Clyde Frazier.
Yep.
Walt Clyde Frazier. He was the point guard for the Knicks back in the 70s, early 70s. Really, really good, talented player. I just fell in love with his game, the way he played. He was smooth. He had a good head on his shoulder. He was a leader. And he wore number 10.
Yep.
So that's why I got the number 10. That's when I started wearing number 10. I started at a young age wearing number 10.
Clyde's one of my idols now, trying to get into the broadcasting aspect, watching all the Knicks games. He does it with Mike Breen.
Hold on, before you move forward, you got to broaden your vocabulary, though.
Oh, yeah. No, I know.
Messing with Clyde, right?
Yeah. Percolating, all that type of – I listen to it. I'm trying to pick up on it a little bit. But,
you got to get your dictionary out.
Yeah, of course. I do like the PA too. At right now I'm at Rhode Island College. Basketball season. Yeah, the basketball season's all over now. But I hopped on a couple games, did play-by-play. PA. I was trying to mix in a little bit of the, like the PA guy from like Madison Square. Gotta get a little crazy. And like people recognize that. You know what I mean? So people know that I'm a Knicks fan. So it's pretty cool. But
hey, you're on the right track, brother.
Yeah, they got to stay on the grind, like I said. But going back to like Clyde and all those guys. Kind of like I said, once you got older, where did Silk originate from?
From growing up in the neighborhood in Brooklyn. I'll tell you the story. One morning, it was a Saturday morning, about 9 a.m., right? So I'm outside working on my game, and I was the only one outside, right? And one of my summer league coaches was so happened to be walking by, right? So I'm outside, I'm shooting. He just stood there. He was watching. I had about 10, 11 straight in a row. He was like, man. He's like, your jump is smooth as silk. He said, can I call you Silk? I said, sure, why not? I like the name. So everyone in New York has a nickname. If you play ball, you got to have a nickname. So I grew up with guys. One guy was Speedy. One guy was Spice. One guy was Ice. Like everybody had a nickname. So that was my nickname, Silk. And I got it. I think I was 12, 13 years old. And it just stuck with me. And but prior to that, my name was Quick Car. So one of the guys at PA announcers in the summer leagues, I was really quick. He was like, oh, Quick Car, shorten my first name. Yeah. So that was my nickname at first. But I said, I like Silk better.
Yeah, like my dad, his nickname growing up was Ice. And, meeting him, like that name kind of just came down to me. So once I got like older and, I started playing basketball, that's what people started calling me. I don't know how they like knew to say that because no one could really say my last name. It's like Ice Simone. So they just would say Ice. And then I just kind of rolled with that, throughout my whole.
That's a smooth name, man. You got to live up to that.
Yeah. So like going back to, your playing career, I know I saw on like one of the podcasts you were on, like the Rhody Vault when you were, 17 years old, getting a little better, developing your game. I know you were shot in your left arm, it put a pause on your like career. And I know it's a very sensitive subject for you, but if you don't want to talk about it, like for sure, you don't have to talk about it like at all. We can move on, but I know it's very pivotal, very pivotal, like, moment in your life. So how did you deal with that? And how did you regain the strength back to keep playing?
It was one of the hardest times of my life.
Of course.
And, missing my junior year of high school. What was so unfortunate was that my sophomore year, I had a great season. So I was getting highly recruited. I was playing for one of the top programs in New York City at Lincoln High School. And to be a starter as a sophomore and average 16 points a game, my stock was going up. And so I figured by my junior year, that's when you really should shine. I would have had like Kentucky, Virginia, all them schools on me. They was coming until my junior year. So when I got shot, unfortunately, it was at a party. And, I was hanging out one weekend. School had just started. And we just wanted to go have a good time. So I was in the wrong place at the wrong time. Basically what happened. And so getting shot, missing my junior year was rough. The recruiters stopped calling. So I thought, they thought I was a bad kid. So they didn't know me personally, but they thought I was a bad kid. So it was one coach that never backed off me, and that was Brendan Malone. He was at Syracuse. He was recruiting me at Syracuse. And so he stayed in touch with me, and we built a relationship. I trusted him, and he gained trust in me. He knew I wasn't a bad kid. So he never backed off. So going through, getting shot, I couldn't even lift a pencil. That's how bad it was. It was shattered. My whole arm was shattered. So I had to start from scratch, rehabilitate my arm, strengthen my arm, where I can get back, where I can at least shoot a basketball again. That's how far behind I was.
You were left-handed, right?
And I'm left-handed.
Yeah.
Right. Left arm, I'm left-handed. So the doctor said, well, we have surgery, we're not sure you'll be able to use your arm again. Right? They're telling my parents this. Or you can rehabilitate your arm, and we still not guarantee you're going to be able to use your arm again, depending on how hard you work. So I said, let's go the second route. I go to rehabilitation. I work my butt off and, gain that strength back. And so, going through that whole process was rough. And but eventually I got my strength back. I had to teach myself how to shoot the ball again, because my left arm is shorter than my right arm now. So now my shot looks ugly. I look deformed pretty much. You know what I'm saying? So, with one arm shorter than the other, it just don't look right. Mm-hmm. And so I had to learn how to shoot with my arm like partially bent. So I don't think you understand how hard that is. But it was very, very, very difficult. I had to learn how to dribble the ball again. Right? Very, very difficult. The one positive that came out of it is I developed my right hand now. Yeah. I would go to practice. I got a cast on. Mm-hmm. I would go to practice and dribble the ball during practice on the side with my right hand, shoot layups, short bank shots, stuff like that. So when I did get the cast off and got my strength back, now I could use both hands. So I was strictly all left until that accident happened. Mm-hmm. I was all left. Like everybody know I'm going left. But now I can go either way. So it kind of made me a better player, to be honest. Yeah. Made me a better player. Now, how do you guard me? I go left, I can go right. I can shoot with my right hand. I can shoot with my left. I'm quick. Right? So if you stay off me, I can shoot the jump shot. So how do you guard me? That made me real effective. And
that's how those offers started to come in more, like once you developed your game after that, right?
Yep, I developed, and prior the summer of my senior year, moving forward, I went to a camp. It's called AFB, right? Athletes for Better Education. It's called an ABCD camp now. So back then, that's what it was called. So I went to that camp. All the high major players was at this camp. I had a great camp. So now my stock went back up. Not like it was or was headed towards, but it went back up because I only had like one or two coaches.
It was at nothing after that accident, and then that camp like put you back on the map, huh?
Exactly. So now I'm getting all these phone calls now again. And I owe my coach that, my high school coach, Bobby Harstein. He's my mentor now. And he helped, get the word out there that, I'm back and playing well, and you need to come back out and see him again.
I know you said your mom was a very inspirational person and helped you through these times as well.
So that's when I get emotional. Yeah. If I mention my mother, then the interview will be over. Yeah. So I try to avoid that.
No, of course. Yeah, of course. Like I said, going back to like your high school coach, who were like people that, I know you said you did it like a lot, like by yourself. Like you were very like self-determined. You grinded like yourself to get back and recover as best you can. But like, were there any like, besides like maybe your coach who were like inspirational and kind of helped you get back to that path, like with the camps and all that kind of thing?
Well, the camps and one of my best friends, we would work out together one-on-one, and we would go at it like we wasn't friends. Yeah. And like every day we would play one-on-one, trying to get better. And he wouldn't allow me to, to get easy buckets. He'd make it tough on me. So that kind of developed me as well. If you want to improve your game, you play somebody one-on-one. Instead of just shooting around out on the basketball court, go one-on-one with somebody and get meaningful. And that helped develop my game. And once I got my arm strengthened again, we would go one-on-one every day. So I credit him for that as well, helping me and, gain my confidence back and, not making it easy for me.
Of course. Yeah, definitely. I can only imagine. And like you said, with like your best friend, like I've had battles with that with all my friends. Obviously, of course, never had any kind of like, you know, dramatic experience like that. Like, just like I said,
Right.
could only imagine how like tough that was. But,
Oh, yeah.
you know, like your senior year panned out great. Like you got all these offers back, not as much as you did before, but you know, you're regaining, you know, you're getting your name back out there again. What was the college scene like? What kind of offers were you getting? And like, how did the end of senior year kind of pan out for you?
Well, my senior, I started out, I was averaging like 22 points a game my senior year.
Mhm.
So as the season went along, coaches started hearing, oh, you know, Silk Owens is back. He's averaging 22. We need to go out and see him. And like I said, my coach was promoting me as well. In which in high school, you need your coach. Right? Your coach, that's his job to help get you this scholarship. Man, he was great at it. Like, I mean, I wasn't no scrub now, but he was great with promoting me. And, you know, as the season went along, I mean, I had Boston College, Syracuse on me, Northeastern, Xavier, South Carolina, just a ton of schools. Oh, GW.
Yep.
I almost went to GW. I was
Really?
actually, yeah, I almost went there. Yeah, they was on me real hard. So, you know, the school started coming out.
Mhm.
We lost in the city championship game by 1 point at the buzzer, which was devastating. We lose by 1 at the buzzer. And but overall, I thought I had a great senior year. And I wouldn't trade everything, you know, what I went through in my high school years. I wouldn't trade it for nothing. So that's a story I could tell these kids, college kids. Like, this is what I went through. It's documented.
Yeah.
You know?
And they look up to that. Like they see that, like, you know, just like that motivates them. I can just already tell that motivates them to want to do good and want to do better. Like, that's the best thing about being a coach, is sharing those experiences, showing them what you can do, and they, you know, they learn from all that stuff, and that's awesome to hear.
If they won't listen to a guy that overcame this, could point to a missing tooth. I got my tooth knocked out in college. I got the bullet hole I could point to in my arm. If you won't listen to me, who you gonna listen to?
Yeah. And like, you know, moments in practice where players may be like goofing off and stuff, and you get like serious, you show them that stuff, you know what I mean? They're like, all right, you know, we gotta take it. You know, you got
an issue. Let me tell you about mine.
Yeah. Trust me, man. I had a coach, you know, I always talk about him on like almost all my episodes. I've had his sons on. One of his sons is the assistant coach of the Celtics. And the other one is just graduated from Vermont. They just, you know, made it to the March Madness tournament. They lost in the first round, but, you know, they're doing great things. He's been like, he was like the forefront of me doing all this stuff. Like, I played for him since middle school, but, you know, unfortunately he passed away my senior year. So I didn't get to be coached by him my last year. So my senior year was kind of tough. But like I said, like, it's like the passion like that he had every practice, the skill sets he taught, all this stuff shaped me into like not just a player but a person. So like that's where this passion for being a podcast host, broadcaster, PA, all that stuff like comes from. So I can only imagine what your players are thinking, because when you instill all this stuff in them, you know, they can go on, not even just playing, but better things like that. So that's awesome to hear. Yeah,
that's great. You have passion for this too, because you know, you don't look at it as work. You know, this is fun for you.
Yeah,
right. It's fun. You know, you love doing it. Same with basketball. You have passion for the game. This is fun. You know, I look at it as fun for me. You know, it's not a job. Same with coaching. I love being around players, help molding them to young men, right? And developing them as a basketball player. You have no idea how that makes a coach feel, right? When a player started at this level and raised this game back to a high level, you had a part of it, right? That makes a coach feel great. And that's why you coach. You know, you coach. You do it for the kids.
Man, yeah, like he was the type of person to be like kind of like quiet about, like, you know, obviously like feelings and all that kind of stuff. So he would yell at you and like get into you, but like that means like he just wanted you to do good. He wanted to see you like play to the top of your potential. You know what I mean? That's what some players don't understand, like at a young age. Like when you get yelled at, they're like, oh, you know, like, why is he yelling at me? Like I'm trying my best. But like they yell at you the most because they want to see you be the best player. Be the best person.
See it in you. and they trying to pull it out of you.
Right.
That's what it is. They see it. But like you said, today kids, if you yell at them, they go in the tank, or they're gonna report you.
Yeah.
Now you lose your job.
I know.
Everybody's sensitive nowadays.
Players got to realize. Yeah.
Coach. Yeah. Let me coach you.
Of course. Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah. I don't yell all the time, but I'm gonna yell sometimes.
You got it. You have to. It's just that's the passion of the game that you have. Like it just comes out. You can't. You can't.
It's hard to contain that.
Yeah.
It comes out like you said.
Yeah. No doubt, man. But like I said, going back to like all the colleges that were offering you back once senior year, came to a good success and conclusion. How did you decide to choose URI? Why URI, and what other schools were you considering? Like you said, you were considering George Washington and things like that.
Yeah. George Washington. I was considering South Carolina as well, because my mother's from South Carolina.
Right.
So I considered them. GW had a great relationship with the assistant coach. Yeah. And, so I considered them strongly. Northeastern as well. Coach Jim Calhoun was there. And so I was close to going there. But how I ended up at URI is the assistant at Syracuse, Brendan Malone, got the job at URI. Late. He got it late. And I was the first person he called. He said, look, I just got the head job. You're the first person I call. I want to hand you the ball. You're going to run the team. So I'm like, Coach, like, what do you mean? I want him to repeat that.
As a freshman, that's
as a freshman,
crazy to go through. Yeah, freshman's head, yeah.
And I always said, I want to go to a school where I'll play right away. I don't want to sit. So I don't want to sit. So I probably went to Syracuse because I would have had to sit behind one of the greatest players ever at Syracuse. Excuse me. At GW, I probably would have started. At Northeastern, I was going to come off the bench. I didn't want that. So when he said, I'm going to hand you the ball, this is your team, you're going to start as a freshman. I said, Coach, where do I sign? Right? The letter of intent, where do I sign? And I said, I have no idea where Rhode Island is. Like none. I was a young kid from New York City. I don't know nothing about Rhode Island. I said, I don't know where it is, and it don't matter. But if you're the head coach, you're going to hand me the ball, I'm coming to Rhode Island.
Were they Division I at the time, too?
Yeah.
Yep.
It was Division I. I just never heard of them.
Yeah.
And the only reason I went is because I had the great relationship with Coach Malone, who was the only coach that never backed off when I had the incident. So I felt like I kind of owe him,
Yeah.
So that's why I came to University of Rhode Island. It was the best decision I ever made.
Yeah, and of course, definitely end results. Like you can see it, Athletic Hall of Famer and all that. All the, numbers you broke in and all, like everything like that. But like, explain to me how the first few years were, like your freshman, sophomore year, until you started getting, obviously the Sweet 16 run your senior year and everything. But how were those first few years for you there?
So my first 2 years. Now you got to remember, I came from a winning program in high school. AAU ball, we was winning championships. Each tournament. So I never experienced losing in my life. Now I get to URI. First year, we went 8 games. We go 8-20. 8-20.
This freshman year?
Freshman year, right? We go 8-20. I was like, oh my God, we awful. I had a great season, but I can't celebrate that because we stink. We was terrible.
Right.
So sophomore year, moving forward, we went 9 games. Right? We go 9-19.
Oh my goodness.
But I did see improvement though.
Yeah.
Right? So I felt a little better. We lost like 5 games in overtime. A couple of games by 1-2 points. So I can see the improvement. Now we're starting to get some better players in now though. Right? Junior year, moving forward. Now we got the key pieces we need. Right? We got better athletes, better players, and that's when it all changed for us. My junior year, but my first 2 years, and like I said, as a coach, I hit all angles.
Mm-hmm.
I experienced losing, right? So kids nowadays, they lose, what they want to do? Transfer out.
Yeah.
Right? I want to transfer. We losing. We stink. A guy like myself, I can help, prevent that from happening. Say, look, I experienced the same thing, right? I know how to talk to the kids now. I went through it. I was thinking the same thing because I never experienced losing,
mm-hmm.
In high school level. So in that respect, I can help, on that end.
Yeah.
Helping these kids, keeping them from going off the cliff.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then at the same time, I can say, look, I experienced winning too.
Yeah.
So now,
those first 2 years, man. Yeah. I'm surprised.
You know what I'm saying?
8 wins, 9 wins. And then you go to senior year. Well, obviously junior year was more of a comeback year. Then senior year, you go 28-7 and you make it to that tournament. Like just bouncing off of that. What was that, that run like? What made that team so special? And what was your experiences like in the Sweet 16 in that March Madness tournament?
Just to go back a little, I think my junior year, we won 20 games, right? We went to the NIT. Okay. Right? If you don't make it to the NCAA, you want to play in the NIT.
Win that, of course.
That's where our confidence started building. It was like, oh, we can do this, right? We made postseason, junior year. Moving forward to my senior year, we was like, we're going all out now because we know we have the talent to win. Throughout the season, we winning games, we winning big. We beat Providence by 22.
Wow.
My senior year. At the Dunkin' Donuts Center.
Must have been packed.
Oh, it was a sellout.
Yeah.
We killed them. My junior year, we lost to them by, I think, 2 points. So my senior, I wanted to beat them.
Mm-hmm.
I know you know the Friars. So,
of course.
That's arch rival in state. Beat them by 20 points. So we knew we had something, right? We knew we had something going. And moving forward, playing in the A-10 tournament, we beat West Virginia. We could never beat West Virginia. So now our confidence is really going sky high. Played Temple. Temple was number 1 in the country that year. Most of the season, they was number 1. They beat us by 5 in the championship game. So I knew we would get selected at large.
Yeah.
In the NCAA tournament. We lost to the number 1 team in the country by 5. They was beating other ranked teams by 15, Temple. We lost them by 5. So we had something there. And once we got selected, we was like, all right, we got to make the best of this, right? We're going to the tournament. We're putting, URI on the map. We're on the national scene now, right? Nobody ever heard of University of Rhode Island. Now the national scene. Now we got to put us on the map. So our attitude was, whoever we play, we're going to take it to them. I don't care who we play. And that's the confidence we had in Coach Penance and still that in all of the players.
So you gotta have that in you, and you've always had it in you. So that's how it still did in your teammates.
You gotta have that attitude. Like off the court, I'm the nicest guy you want to know.
Mm-hmm.
Your dad can tell you that. Like I'm nice. I'm just a nice guy. That's my personality, though. Right. Mm-hmm. On the court, I'm a different person. Right. I want to take it to you. No mercy, no nothing. That's how you gotta be. Right. You understand. So we play Missouri. Great game. They had 5 guys on their roster that made it to the NBA. 5.
Wow.
And we just took it to them. They had Derek Chivas. He was like first team All-American. They call him the Band-Aid man. Right? He's from New York too, from Queens. He gave us 35, but we shut everybody else down. Right? And we beat them. I don't know. I think it was 87-80. Beat them. So what pissed us off going to the next round against Syracuse, prior to that, the announcer said, oh, the second round game will be a great game between Missouri and Syracuse. So we being disrespected again.
Yeah.
So Coach Penance didn't like that. He brought it to us in the locker room. He said, I'm going to say this is what the announcer said. We're not going for it. I can't say it the way I want to say it.
This is once the game was over and you already won?
Yeah.
Jesus.
No, I'm sorry. This is before the game.
Oh, okay. All right.
So they're predicting.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
You know who's gonna win? They couldn't see Little Rhode Island beat Missouri with 5 NBA players.
Mm.
So that pissed us off. That's why we went out and tore Missouri up. So he used the same strategy going into Syracuse game.
Mm.
And so we was fired up. We was highly motivated. Coach in the locker room going nuts. We going nuts. We ready to play. Let's go. So we get out there, and during the game, early in the game, the players from Syracuse being disrespectful to us. Talking about where's Rhode Island? I never heard of Rhode Island. What's the Atlantic 10? What conference is that? Like, I never heard of it. He's like, don't worry about any of the games. You're gonna know where Rhode Island is, where it's located, what conference we play in. You're gonna know all of this stuff. And Sherman Douglas was one of the main ones.
Mm.
I've seen that. Yep. So at the free throw line, he's saying all this stuff to me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm shooting the free throw. I go, where's Rhode Island at? Y'all stink. We never even heard of you guys. I said, don't worry about the end of the game. You'll know where Rhode Island is and where we're located and what conference we're playing. I said, trust me, you're going to know. And I just laughed. I thought it was funny.
Yeah.
As I'm shooting my free throws. And it wasn't just him. Derek Coleman had a big mouth. Mm-hmm. Only one that really didn't talk was Ronnie Cycling. And he ended up being the #1 pick in the draft that year, 88. Wow. So we played against some talented teams, talented individual players. But we had no fear. We was afraid of no one. That's
a Rhody way, man. You gotta have
I'm starting to get fired up again now. Thinking about it.
You gotta have it, I love that.
Yeah, like there was no fear, like none. And we only played 6 guys, right? So the main 3 was Tommy, Garrett, Kenny Green, and myself. Mm-hmm. We was the main 3. We had some help now, but we was the main 3. And we just played well together, played as a unit. Everybody was unselfish. Obviously, some players gonna shoot more than others, which Tommy and myself, took more of the shots. And Kenny was coming along, right? Kenny had a great, he was a sophomore. Mm-hmm. Yeah, great sophomore year. And we needed that. We needed that. And our role players, they knew their role, right? So that's how you develop a team. You get your really good stars, and then your role players know their role and accept their role, though. You got to accept it, or it won't work.
Right.
And Coach Penn was good with meshing us together, understanding your role. When you coach, you have to point out, look, all right, these are our star players now. I need you to play this role. If your role is rebounding, blocking shots, I need you to do that 100%.
Right. You don't got to score. Just play that role. Of course. Yeah.
If you score, that's a bonus.
Yeah.
Right. And that's how we had it. Like our center, he averaged like 4 or 5 points a game, but we couldn't win without him. Mm. And that's Bonzi Costa. Couldn't win without that guy. He blocked everything coming up in there. He rebounded. He set so many screens for me. I got half of my points because he set screens for me.
You don't see that in the stat sheet. You don't see
right.
You don't see that in the stat sheet.
Right. So I got to point that out.
You still keep in contact with all these guys still?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. That's awesome.
He lives right in Massachusetts, so we still go out to dinner and reminisce and have a good time. We had another good role player, Mergesina. He came from Brooklyn, so I knew him from high school. We almost played together in high school, and he was a transfer from Seton Hall. Brendan Malone, when he called me, he called him second. Mergesina.
When you guys are freshmen?
Yeah, coming in.
Yep.
So he was the first call. He said, I'm going to call Mergesina right now when I hang up from you. I said, tell Mergen he needs to come to URI with me so we get this thing going.
Yeah.
But, he wanted a bigger name.
Mm-hmm.
So CEO recruited me as well. I forget that. Coach Mike Brown recruited me. And so he wanted to go there. He didn't play much. Mm-hmm. What was important to me, I wanted to play.
Right.
This was the best decision I ever made coming to URI. Look at it today. Most kids, they want to be in the transfer portal.
Yeah.
So they play 1 or 2 years out of school. Now you're gone. So what school do you claim? Mm-hmm. Right? Now you can transfer like every year. And the rule has to change. Mm-hmm. That's the worst rule they had.
Definitely.
Right? Before you transfer, you got to sit a year. If you transfer within your conference, you got to sit 2 years.
Yeah.
So wasn't looking to transfer. Yeah. Right? I'm not sitting 2 years to transfer. You crazy.
It's 2 years you could be playing like you were at URI, like, and you stuck it out like that. You said like that dog in you growing up from Brooklyn, like just keep going. And like you said, off the court, totally different person. Once you get on the court, like I said about my coach, his son, he played at West Virginia and he started, I think, 2006, and he made it to the Final Four with West Virginia. He played against people like Steph Curry, John Wall, DeMarcus Cousins, like all these kinds of big name guys. And like I said, he's with the Celtics, assistant coach right now. But he's like he had that in him. Like he was just like a completely different person on the floor. And, it's just you gotta have that in you, and that's what separates a good player from a great player,
an average player.
Yeah,
right. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And staying 4 years, you build chemistry. And but transferring from school to school, I don't like it at all.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't. Yeah, of course. If I was still playing, like obviously, like that would be a dream. But you gotta see what is more suitable for you. Like I feel like this was a more suitable thing for me because I'm still around the game. I'm still I'm just behind the scenes, and that's the best part of it. And I love like talking with people like you and like just the experiences you guys had. You know what I mean? Like. It's so surreal, and kind of to cap it off, the episode, like I know all the records you broke, all like the scoring totals you hold, all those kinds of things. In the media, the jersey retirement at the Ryan Center has been a big thing. And that like all your teammates have been saying, Silk would be the first that we would want and, all those kinds of things. So what does that mean to you? And how would you feel if you were the first jersey to be retired in the Ryan Center?
Well, it means a lot to me to have my teammates to say that. And that's just love right there. Yeah. For them to say Silk should be first, and they just as qualified as I am getting your number retired, Kenny and Tommy, and it would mean a lot to me and my family as well. And but should I be first? I don't know. Like, who's to say who's first? If we go by numbers, maybe.
Yeah.
That's I'm the all-time leading scorer there. Second in assists, all the stats you already read off. I mean, I can see it, but who's to say? And I just say this: we need some numbers up in the rafters.
For sure.
Who's first? I don't care. Get some numbers up there. That helps with recruiting.
Definitely.
We bring in a recruit, and they look up in the rafters and see a couple of jerseys retired. They're gonna say, "Coach, I'm gonna get my jersey up there one day," right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Who that's gonna benefit? The coach, the university, because that kid gonna go all out to get his name, his jersey up there.
Yeah, and of course, you and your teammates, very well-known people in Rhode Island, and like just in general, like how you're doing the podcast with me and how you've done it with Adam and all these other people. They're gonna be like, "Oh, who's Owens? Who's that? Like, why was his name so?" They look you up, and then they know you, they know your game, they know that, and they're like, "All right, that's something I want to bring to Rhody." So like that's just
exactly.
It's crazy to think about, man. Yeah.
When you come into the arena and you see my name up there, young kids today might not know who I am.
Yeah, right.
They can look it up. Oh, who's Silk Owens? Oh, because they have the year I graduated. You probably wasn't half of y'all probably wasn't even born.
Yeah.
So it's a good thing. That's what you call history.
Exactly.
The legacy of URI. We need that. Who you put up there first, I don't care. Just get some numbers up there.
For sure. And like I said earlier, like, cap everything off, I'm praying you get on some kind of staff there at URI, because when I transfer over there, man, it's going to be so cool, meet you in person. And I got to thank my dad making this connection, man. That was, props to him. And he's going to love that. Yeah.
Tell your dad he owes me a big steak.
Of course. I got him. He's gonna love it, man. He's gonna love the episode. I can't wait to show him.
Yeah, that's my guy.
But that kind of wraps up everything, Silk. I mean, I appreciate you joining and taking the time out of your day. Like I said, I know like those weeks, you know, you kind of had to go on a little pause. Like you had a lot of stuff going on, but I appreciate you making the time for Cam's Corner. I just want to ask you last, like, what did you think of the show and who might you want to see me try to get as like another featured guest?
No, the show is great. You was better than I thought you was going to be.
Appreciate it.
Being honest. I was like, oh, he's all right. You know what he's doing.
Yeah.
And you was good. I usually don't like them on podcasts myself, to be honest.
Yeah.
But you was pretty good, man.
Appreciate it, man.
Did you interview Kenny Green yet?
No, but you're actually like my first URI like alum to be featured on the show. So yeah.
I'm gonna talk to Kenny Green and tell him he needs to do a podcast with you.
No,
Kenny Green, he's great. He's great.
For sure, definitely. Make it happen. I'm always reaching out to these people. I'm always on like a grind on the social media aspect. So if he's got any of that, numbers, whatever, I'll reach out as soon as I can. Okay. But hey, man, I appreciate it, and I'll keep in touch for sure. And put Cam's Corner out on the map. Once I'll text you once this goes out for sure.
All right, let me know, Cam. I appreciate you, brother. Good job.
I appreciate you, man. Thank you.